This is Murshid from Galgamua. I am an academic engineer. Besides myself being an engineer, I am inclined towards many of the human rights programs. My intention is to enlighten about human rights, about the notion of human rights and the like to general public, so that every single one from the audience or rather the general public can be able to enhance their knowledge as to human rights as well as how to apply them in their practical life. Because when it comes to human rights, the human rights practical would be very much important. There are many instances that the human right activity would get infringed or rather violated at different occasions. Therefore, the knowledge about human right must be very much well in us, so that we can make a positive change within ourselves as well as in the community, so that we can get rid of being victimized on any ground of that would have any inclination for human rights violation. Now, to make it a little furthermore into the details, when it comes to human rights, we must have our freedom in order to think or rather thought, the conscious, speech and many other elements. There are multiple elements that would fall under the human rights, and that should be known to us so that we can save our or rather defend our human rights in our local community as well as on international platform. Especially one that is very much overlooked in the local context is something discrimination or rather not to be discriminated on certain grounds like race, language, ethnicity, religion and the like. Especially the discrimination based on place of birth is something that's barely looked at in the Sri Lankan context. There are instances the victims are very much suffering owing to the victimization based on discrimination based on place of birth. Now, if you do take different parts of Sri Lanka or different parts of the island, there are instances in which the likelihood is very much higher, or to a certain degree the chance is very much for them in order to be discriminated based on place of birth. That should also be known for us, because in some majority of the reasons the people are very much less known to that phenomenon. However, we should be very much known to that aspect as well, because this is something very much lesser known to them. Discrimination based on place of birth, this has been being experienced on different contexts as well as situations across different areas of Sri Lanka. Not only is it applicable for Sri Lankan context, however, we can even extrapolate it for the universal domain as well. Hence, as a whole, we must be very much aware of these human rights as well as its corresponding violations on different elements. And in this my verbalizations, I am focusing on the fact about this discrimination based on place of birth.